wake up. Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up.
Morning to you.
Indeed, and good morning to you indeed. Welcome to Tuesday. Don't get tied up, as the old people say. It is Tuesday, the 29th of April, 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen. Always so wonderful having you company bright and early in the morning. The sun has already risen, so it's reason for you to lift your head off your pillow, get up and get going, because there are things to be done and there are things to be achieved, and it's all waiting on you to be able to do so. To all of you watching us on our streams on YouTube, Facebook, and on our website, cbc.bb, thank you so much for waking up bright and early to keep us company, and to keep each other company too, because you do so by interacting among yourselves and interacting with us, and we thank you for doing so. We are really appreciative. So good morning to all of you. Don't ever stop doing that. We love it, as a matter of fact. And if you have an idea, or if you know of something or someone who you think we need to feature on the show, just send us an email. Our address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. It's right there on your screen. Note it, morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That is our email address, and we thank you for sending us your emails of suggestions and the like. So, as always, big thank you. Yesterday was National Heroes Day. What were you up to? How heroic were you indeed, and just what were you thinking when you thought of National Heroes Day? What does it mean to you to be able to celebrate as a people in Barbados National Heroes Day? To you, Patricia Ben, across the pond, good morning to you indeed. She's wishing all of us and all of our production crew a very good morning, and we do the very same to you. Vereen Walker, good morning. She says good morning to Barbados, and good morning to you, Vereen, as well. Where are you? Where exactly are you? Are you here or are you somewhere else? I'm not so sure. But she's watching from, okay, Lord, look at that. Immediate response, watching from New York. Good morning, Vereen. Good having you company indeed. And for those of you in the diaspora, wherever you are, it is wonderful having you company. We're happy to know that you are there and you stay connected with us at CBC through our streams. So always good having you company. Marcia Rock, good morning. How are you? Good morning, she says to Pearson. Who is he? And all the beautiful people, have yourself a terrific Tuesday. We wish the very same to you as well, Marcia Rock. Have a great today, as I always say. You know, it is today, yesterday, and tomorrow. So today is today. So have a great today, indeed, as you do your best to be your best self as well. Now, last night, did you get any sleep? I was up watching the elections in Trinidad and Tobago, and you know, before I knew it, it was almost today. But good morning to you, Rhonda Hines-Grimm, as well. She's sending a lovely day today to all. She did the Autism Association Awareness Walk on Heroes Day, and I saw your pictures. I saw everything you did, Rhonda. Thank you so much for supporting the Autism Association of Barbados. I ran into them on the weekend as well at one of the malls, and they were there still working tirelessly. Lana Carter, good morning, Lana Carter. Indeed, have a lovely day. She's watching from Review Road in Bushall. Thank you, Lana. Have a lovely day as well. But the Autism Association of Barbados continues their activism. They're in the malls. They're still selling things. They encourage you to give your support. And we want to continue thanking you for giving your support. And for those of you who watched and participated as well, thank you. Miss Green, who is watching from London. Thank you, Miss Green. Thank you so much for waking up to watching us from there. How is the weather? Is it cold? Is it cooling? Is it spring? Has spring sprung? Are the flowers looking even more beautiful indeed? And I know she was also one of those who we featured at some point on this show, Mornin Barbados. And so to you, Miss Green, thank you so much for keeping in touch with us. Now today, as I was saying to you, today is the day that there is a new Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago. Today is the day after the night when the United National Congress swept to power in Trinidad and Tobago. And hopefully, if all things work well, we know Doris, who has been updating us from Trinidad and Tobago, the Guardian Media Limited there. She was working so hard yesterday because I followed all of her exploits, all of her reports as well. And Doris was going from the crack of dawn at the time the polls opened right through till the closure of the coverage. And so we're hoping that she wakes up and gets online to come in to us, because I want to hear just a little bit more about what happened yesterday. There are all sorts of allegations, but The reports at the end of it all was that the United National Congress won the majority of seats to just a few by the People's National Movement. And then in Tobago, there was a change as well from the People's National Movement to the Tobago People's Party. And so there we have 3 parties in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago, first time in a little while. And so we want to hear more about how things could possibly change in Trinidad. But we will get some perspective from Rachel Agard, who is a Trinidadian who works with us at the CBC. She too has been following, and she promises to be up early as well to come join us to give her perspective. In just a moment, we'll be hearing from the outgoing CARICOM Youth Ambassador from Barbados, as we have ushered in a new set of CARICOM ambassadors. We want to hear from her some highlights and get her report after her 2-year stint. Can't wait to hear about that in our conversations on CARICOM, when we also continue to look at youth involvement in politics in the region. That's so important. So for those little ones who are already up watching us, we want you to pay close attention. This could be you, and you could see your potential in your future as well. Get involved in understanding what's happening in our communities, not just in Barbados alone, but as brothers of the region in CARICOM, how we can all lean on each other and help each other. Now, your decision makes a difference. Immunization for all. That's the theme of Vaccination Week in the Americas. And this morning we'll get from some medical professionals just how are we doing on that? How are we doing on vaccination? What are the dangers when we ignore vaccination, when we become hesitant to vaccination? All of those we will be speaking about. It's also open week in the Faculty of Sport at the UWI Cayfield campus. We'll hear from them what we can expect this week. It is their taster week. It has already begun. Tomorrow is a big activity they're having, but today we want to talk to you a little bit more about what to expect and the programs of study in the Faculty of Sport. The 11 Plus is just a week away. I'm going to say that softly because all those 11 pluses are listening. Don't want to scare you, but it's coming up really, really soon. And Margaret Grant, who's been working with us all season long, has been sharing with us tips on preparing for the exam. It is just a moment in time. I don't want you to dwell too heavily on it to the point where you're stiff into rigor mortis because you're afraid. No, it's just another moment in time, but we want to make sure that you're well prepared, and Margaret Grant is best placed to help us do so. And the St. John Parish Organizing Committee will join us as we take a look at what to expect in May, which is just a matter of days away now. And so we want to hear from them about the activities coming up first weekend of May. Let's get started on conversations on CARICOM. We're happy to be joined by Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Kamishong, and he's brought along a beauty this morning, someone who knows it well. Indeed. Good morning, Ambassador.
Good morning, Pearson.
We don't see the beauty, right? Ashley Lashley. Ashley Lashley is Barbados' outgoing youth ambassador to CARICOM. And that's a significant moment because Ashley has done tremendous work, Ambassador.
Yes. Well, you know, CARICOM started this Youth Ambassador program way back in the early 1990s, and I've been Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM since 2018. So I've seen quite a few of the Barbados' CARICOM Youth Ambassadors since 2018, but I don't think the others would hold it against me if I said that Ashley has been the most impactful. I mean, Ashley has done really tremendous work, and is leaving a very important legacy that will live on. So I thought that I had to bring her here with me this morning, so that she could kind of give a report to the Barbadian people on the highlights of her 2-year stint as ambassador.
Now, Ashley, when you became the CARICOM Youth Ambassador, we interviewed you on Mornin Barbados, and you set yourself all these goals that you wanted to achieve. When you reflect, then, have you achieved many of them?
I think, well, firstly, good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados. It's a pleasure to be here. I would say yes, there's still so much more that I would love to do if I had continued in the role as CARICOM Youth Ambassador. But I remember during our first interview, I mentioned that I wanted to raise more awareness to young persons on what regional development means for them and their role in certain economic, social, and environmental topics. And I also remembered my first meeting with Minister Charles Griffith when he said, well, Ashley, I want you to step outside your box. Everyone knows that you're focused on climate change, but I really want you to do something different. And for me, that was one of the biggest challenges as a young person that the minister could have tasked me on, because my overall mission and my overall work that persons knew me for was that of climate change. So my first activity that I did actually in the role was on CARICOM Day, July 4th, back in 2023, where we went to the Shirley Chisholm School, and we actually empowered young persons in what CARICOM means. We played the CARICOM song. We focused on the four pillars of CARICOM. But what we also did is that we asked the students of the Shirley Chisholm School and the teachers to allow students to wear a t-shirt that represents a Caribbean country, but also to bring to school a dish that also represents a Caribbean country. And while we were there, we also asked a student of the Shirley Chisholm School and a student of the Blackman and Gollop School to come to perform as well. And we made a donation as well to the Lester Vaughan School for that representation. So for me, overall, in the role as CARICOM's youth ambassador, it really truly highlighted for me the importance of youth engagement on issues relating that are affecting young persons within the overall CARICOM agenda, but how young persons can have their voice heard. I think, and sorry, Ambassador, but I think a lot of the issues that are being discussed at a CARICOM level, a lot of young persons aren't aware, to be honest. And in my role as CARICOM Youth Ambassador, it was important that I'm able to share what's happening at a CARICOM level to other young persons, so that they know that they also have a role to play on these issues.
And that's so true. You know, you mentioned the CARICOM Day, that signal moment, and we do have some video from from that flag raising day that you spoke of.
I think the video you have is, well, if I could just say that for me, some of Ashley's highlights were her participation in important ceremonial events and speaking as a voice of the youth. And the first such one was when we celebrated Africa CARICOM Day.
Right.
In last year, 2024, at government headquarters, that flag raising ceremony. And Ashley broke new ground by being, the first youth speaker at that event. And I think we have a little clip of that. And then there's the speech she gave to the opening ceremony of the. But I'll leave it in your hands.
All right. So let's look at that one, which the ambassador just referenced last year for the Africa CARICOM Day flag raising.
And today, as we celebrate the third Africa CARICOM Day, the time has come for us to establish subgroups under this partnership. And I am proposing the establishment of a Youth African CARICOM Task Force, which will provide young people with a formal role in shaping policies, initiatives, and collaborations between our regions. Through this Africa Youth CARICOM Task Force, we must lead the way in crafting bold, fresh solutions to critical issues like climate change, trade, health, technology, and reparations, offering insights that breaks free from the shackles of outdated approaches of the past. I propose that we establish more robust programs for educational exchanges and leadership training, especially in sports, where young people from Africa and the Caribbean can collaborate, learn, and build skills that will empower them to be the leaders of tomorrow. We should create the CARICOM and Africa Games as a way of continuing and deepening the relationship between Africa and CARICOM. It is imperative that we secure a permanent youth presence in international forums like COP and the G20, amplifying our voices on the global stage and ensuring that our concerns are not just heard, but acted upon. We can really foster entrepreneurship and youth-led businesses by leveraging opportunities like the African Continental Free Trade Area, creating real economic impacts and opportunities for our young people to thrive in their own communities. This task force is not just a proposal, but it is a necessary step in unleashing the full potential of Africa and the Caribbean's youth. Together, we can create a future that is driven in 1, innovation, 2, unity, and 3, purpose.
That's Barbados outgoing CARICOM Youth Ambassador Ashley Lashley there. She addressed the Africa CARICOM Day last year. And Ashley, looking at it, listening to yourself and listening to your ideas and proposals, how do you feel when you watch that?
I mean, I think I want to cry a little bit because I know when given the task of presenting myself and the perspective of young persons to leaders, it is always one of a challenge. And I always put myself in the shoes of what are the challenges that young persons are facing, what are the issues that our entire world is facing, and what solutions do I have to help solve those issues. So when you first asked the question, you had all of these ideas, and if everything was done, for sure that task force is one that I would love to see implemented after, because through the Hey campaign, which I started at 16 years of age, it really shows the power that young persons from Africa and the Caribbean can have when working together, you know? And I think even the creation of that African CARICOM Sports Day, I think that could be a phenomenal opportunity that shows the regional and international development of youth within the athletics realm, not only in Barbados but across CARICOM, but also empowering that trade between youth entrepreneurs from Africa and those from across the Caribbean to market their products in Africa. And here in the Caribbean, that could also be a very powerful step. But having young persons from Africa sitting down beside young persons from the Caribbean, discussing issues like climate change, meeting at the Conference of Parties, which is coming up in November, it really shows that continued brotherhood. And during that first delivery, I was telling Ambassador before we came here, I think everything was connected, because that's where I understood and I learned a little bit about the language Swahili and Portuguese. And I remember saying Ubuntu, I am because we can. I using some African sayings, and I think that was one of the most powerful highlights for me. But everything and every presentation that I try to deliver, I always try to look at what future do I want to see for myself? What future do I want to see for my country, Barbados, and for young persons? And that's why it's always solution oriented to the issues that we're facing.
That was just one powerful presentation from Ashley Lashley. There's more to come. We'll do so after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of...
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our conversations on CARICOM continues now as we still with us Ambassador David Commichon, Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, and Ashley Lashley, the outgoing CARICOM Youth Ambassador for Barbados. And so you just heard one presentation when she made that presentation at the CARICOM Africa Day last year, out of which some brilliant ideas were delivered. And Ambassador, it's left to us, the bigger ones, to help her realize some of those ideas.
Well, Pearson, I deliberately chose that extract from her speech because I think she delivered two ideas that really deserve to see the light of day, to be implemented. And it is my intention to try to put both of those ideas on the agenda of the upcoming CARICOM African Union Summit, which will be held in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia in September. So that idea of an Africa Caribbean Youth Commission that brings our young people together. Brilliant. And that idea of an African Caribbean sports, whatever it is, whether it be track and field, whether it be football, but yes, a sports initiative. So I think those are two very brilliant concrete ideas that really should be implemented. But you see, so that was Ashley's, as ambassador, the first occasion on which she was speaking officially in that capacity to a regional and international audience.
Yes.
And people were impressed. In fact, so impressed that when we came to the host the CARICOM Heads of Government Summit here in Barbados in February, she was invited to be a speaker at the opening ceremony. And she did brilliantly on that occasion as well. And I want to say that, I said that Ashley broke new ground. One of the ways in which she broke new ground is that Ashley was made an official member of Barbados's delegation to the last CARICOM Heads of Government Conference. Now, admittedly, there was a little mix-up with it and the mix-up came because that was so unprecedented.
Yes.
That you have a youth ambassador being included by the Cabinet of Barbados via a cabinet decision on the official governmental delegation, that apparently the people who were doing the registration and the ID badges just assumed it was a mistake. Because this had never happened before, so they assumed it was a mistake and did not print Ashley's badge, and that caused a little confusion. But the point is, she has set precedents. We now have the precedent of, for Barbados at least, of the CARICOM Youth Ambassador being placed on the country's official delegation to heads of government conferences.
And that was you, Ashley.
That was me.
When you delivered your speech, I remember watching it because I like to watch people.
Yeah.
And I saw the reactions by heads while you were speaking in total agreement. You had them.
I didn't see it.
I know you couldn't see it. You had them literally in the palm of your hand. They were just eating up everything you were saying. And so to relive that moment, take a look.
I believe true progress will not come from minor adjustments. It will come from shattering old paradigms, from rewriting the rules, not merely following them. Our people demands more affordable air and sea connectivity to bring our nations closer. Food and nutrition security, that is not just a goal, but a reality. Real investment opportunities, jobs, and economic liberation for our youth. But progress also means reparatory justice to heal historical wounds and climate justice to secure our future. We must be bold, demand what is old, and build a Caribbean that thrives. A luta continua, the struggle continues, but must it always be a struggle? And what of Haiti? How is it that after centuries of leading the charge of Black liberation, our Haitian brothers and sisters still suffer under the weight of political turmoil, economic instability, and external interference? We must not allow any external force, be it developed countries or otherwise, to dictate the sovereign right of Haiti and other Caribbean islands to determine their own destinies.
Boy, powerful indeed. I remember watching there thinking to myself, wow, Ashley Lashley. And so, Ashley, reflect for me just a moment on that presentation.
I think that presentation has honestly been one of my best presentations to date. I remember when I got the call, I was at home. I think it was late at night, like at 8 o'clock. Ashley, Prime Minister Motley has asked me to contact you to see if you would be interested in delivering the opening address. I was like, of course, yay! So when I got up before I ran in the front house to my parents, I was like, can you imagine I just got asked to deliver the address? But I was like, wait, what am I going to say? My dad was like, well, don't look at me. Go and start doing your research. So when I started, the first thing that I did, I asked myself, what do I really want to say in this moment, especially to leaders from all across the world? And I analyzed historical times and what we as a Caribbean people have gone through when it comes to slavery, when it comes to reparations. I wanted to show the connectedness that we have to Africa now and even back then. So I was reflecting on different historical practices. And I think throughout the representation of the speech, I also looked at what was achieved, looking at the George Bridge Declaration on Crime and Health. I focused on reparations. I looked at climate change. I mentioned that although we are small island developing states, we should not allow not multilateralism, but I mentioned that because we're small island developing states, we should not allow developed countries tell us where we stand on the international stage, seeing what is happening within the geopolitical landscape that we're currently facing. So I try to soften my language a little bit to also show the frustrations as a young person that I've been seeing over the years and what the future of us as young persons from across CARICOM look like. And I always wanted to have that connectivity to my brothers and sisters in Africa. So that's why along this speech you would have seen and would have heard I mentioned different Swahili and Portuguese language. But I think for me what was my favorite part of that moment, and when I was reading it at home before I delivered that, was I said, and I remember Ambassador coming so cute to me after, and said, as Malcolm X once said, you don't stick a knife in a man's back 9 inches, pull it out 6 inches and call it progress. True progress is really defined by the actions in which we take today and not tomorrow. Something along those lines, but that for me was a very important highlight. But to be honest, Pierce, when I was up there delivering those remarks, looking into the audience, no one had a reaction. So I was like, am I doing a good job? Is it horrible? I was so nervous because normally when I'm delivering an address, I could tell if people liking it, if I'm talking for too long. But there and then in that moment, I did not know what was the reaction from persons until I got down off the podium. And after the event, everyone was like phenomenal. That was a great job. You saw it for
yourself just now. You just saw it for yourself.
Yes,
the impact you had. Leaders were nodding their heads in agreement. And not naturally, they started conversation about what Ashley Lashley said, which was what we intended. Patricia Ben says, what a beautiful, exceptional young lady representing Barbados. Congratulations to you, Ashley Lashley. So our commenters on our social media are already cluing in to what you're saying. And Ambassador, well done, Ashley Lashley, Perlita Pyle, thank you so much for your comment as well. And so, Ambassador, this is just the start. This is just the start of how young people in Barbados and the region can become involved in the political life of CARICOM.
Yes. But Ashley has, really blazed a trail. And it would be remiss of me not to mention 2 initiatives that she has put in place that are perhaps just as important as the high-level speeches. One was launched just Saturday of this weekend. This is the CARICOM badge for Girl Guides and Boy Scouts. Now, this is extremely important because what Ashley has done, Ashley has conceptualized a badge. All Girl Guides, all Boy Scouts across the region will do, so that there's a program that they will undertake to earn the badge. And that program will teach them about CARICOM, but it will also cause them to be engaged in Caribbean integration activities. So if I can think of an Ashley Lashley legacy, this is a real legacy, because this Boy Scout and Girl Guides program is going to create literally thousands and thousands of advocates, young advocates for CARICOM. The other thing I would mention is a couple months ago, she launched the Growing Tomorrow's Harvest agriculture program at the Grantley Adams Memorial School. And that's where she has this program to get the schools involved, to get students involved in growing food, in agricultural production, which is complementing CARICOM's 25 by 25 food production program. So all in all, Pearson, this has been a phenomenal CARICOM Youth Ambassador. And you're quite right. So she's set an example for other young people. And I want young people to know, yes, I want you to become involved in the Youth Ambassador program like Ashley. Everybody can't be the Youth Ambassador, but Ashley has a team that work with her. So even though you may not be the Youth Ambassador, there's a team you can work with as part of the whole supporting CARICOM and being a representative of the youth to CARICOM.
Ambassador, well said. Ashley, congratulations. You've done a phenomenal job indeed, and it's left to you now to continue the legacy through empowering other young people like yourself. So thank you so much for your work. And Ambassador, thank you as well for having these conversations on CARICOM with us.
Yes, my pleasure to be here with Ashley.
Thank you.
Indeed. Success is what we love, so we'll take a break here. We'll come back to look at success in Trinidad and Tobago.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scald is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
28 minutes now to the hour of 7 o'clock, and let me tell you, this lady has been working hard. I mean hard. I watched her at the crack of dawn yesterday, and I saw her at the close of the day as well. Doris Polo is a senior reporter with the Guardian Media Limited in Trinidad and Tobago. She's been our eyes and ears on the ground for this general elections in Trinidad and Tobago, and so she joins us now to update us on the outcome. Doris, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I'm doing well. I have to first apologize to you for waking you up this morning to disturb you.
That is quite fine.
You sure?
That is quite fine. I'm happy to be here.
Good. Now listen, yesterday was quite a day and quite an upset as well.
Yeah, I mean, Pearson, listen, the last time I was on with you, we spoke about how close the margin was for both the People's National Movement and United National Congress, as even though there were actually 17 parties vying for this election. But let me tell you, the outcome certainly stunned Trinidad and Tobago last night, and it stunned the People's National Movement, the political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, and, well, now the outgoing Prime Minister, Stuart Young, because what we saw was a victory that nobody predicted, not even the political analysts and pollsters. We mentioned on the last occasion, a poll conducted by Professor Hamid Ghani from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus, and what he found was that the marginal seats in Trinidad and Tobago, in Trinidad in particular, were leaning to the United National Congress, while in Tobago, the two seats there were leaning to the People's National Movement. But when Dr. Rowley conceded last night, what he said was that the PNM would have gotten around 10 to 12 seats at most, down from the 22, that they previously held. So it was definitely a whopping victory for the United National Congress.
I want to look at those concession speeches because the PNM's concession speech came around 10:15. Yes, I was watching your coverage. And so let's show, first of all, the speech made by Dr. Keith Rowley to be followed by that of the outgoing Prime Minister Stuart Young. That's coming up in just a moment, Darius, so just stick right there. But, you know, they were equally concerned that they did not see the return on what they had invested in trying to excite the electorate.
Yeah, you know, the People's National Movement is a party that doesn't wash its dirty linen in public. They often say that they handle their challenges and their concerns internally. But what I can tell you is that I was there. I was stationed there around 6 p.m. when the polls closed officially on the election. There were barely any people there. You did see some vendors setting up much later. Initially, I saw, the setting up an erection of a stage. We had the faces and the constituencies of the candidates adorning around the stage. It was almost giving a sort of sense of a Hollywood Walk of Fame because they initially rolled out a red carpet. And then at some time later, they folded it up and put it back on the stage. So that is to demonstrate the surprise that came to the People's National Movement. But then people were asking the media questions because being shown on a screen. Me?
We have a little bit of sticking there with you, Doris. I hope we can settle that internet connectivity just there. But we did tell you earlier that we wanted to hear from Dr. Keith Rowley and Stuart Young. Can we play their concession speeches now?
Reports, we have conducted an election. Things have gone very well with the processes. The results are coming in now. And from what we have coming into Balizé House, it is clear at this time that we have lost the election. So this press conference is what we do. We've done it before, conceding defeat on election night, but tomorrow is a new.
So tomorrow is a new day, he said. Stuart Young, who is the outgoing Prime Minister, spoke as well when questioned by the journalists who were there about his view about their loss. Let's take a look at his response.
As I said only this morning, I believe we ran a very good campaign and a good fight, and we had quite a robust plan for the future. But the population has spoken, the electorate has spoken tonight, and we look forward to tomorrow morning. And the PNM is a strong party. We don't get here after 70 years, and from tomorrow morning, that's it. We're back, we rebuild. We will encourage all the young people to come forth. We have our experience.
Well, there you go. Stuart Young conceding as well. Pretty early in the election, Darius, because you're back. Thanks, we have that all sorted out now. And so, what was the overall mood in the country at that point of concession?
Yeah, there was definitely jubilation in different parts of Trinidad, and I'm sure Tobago as well, where the Tobago People's Party would have unseated the People's National Movement there. People were celebrating, even political parties that had not won a seat. The Patriotic Front, led by former Prime Minister Basdeo Pandey's daughter, Michaela Pandey, they were celebrating after the concession speech of Dr. Keith Rowley and Stuart Young. There's a sense that we got as members of the media that the electorate bought into the promises, and Dr. Rowley said it, bought into the promises put forward by the United National Congress. We're talking about the repeal of property tax, the removal of online taxes, the removal of 5% corporation tax, removing VAT on a number of items, offering in one instance 10,000 jobs in one sector, 50,000 overall. People are looking for upward mobility and development. And of course, we did see just before the election the revocation of the 2 OFAC licenses for Trinidad and Tobago that would have allowed the joint exploration of the Dragon gas field with Venezuela. So there was a lot at stake this time around, and there was genuinely and generally a sense from the population that they wanted to give somebody else a chance to lead this country, with the People's National Movement being in office for almost 10 years.
And so the slogan was, when UNC wins, you win. Everyone wins. Let's take a look at the acceptance speech and the big celebratory speech given by Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the incoming Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
When the demands come in, what would be the ability of Trinidad and Tobago to deal frontally, creatively with the demands? And the question comes in the context of geopolitical
I believe Prime Minister-elect Kamala Persad-Bissessar is speaking.
Oh, Prakash, come back just in time.
When God says yes, nobody can say no. I want to thank our coalition partners joined with us for us to secure this victory. So can we give them a round of applause? United Coalition of Interests. And of course, I thank all of you, rank and file members of the UNC who have stood with me through thick and thin, through light and through darkness. You have carried me on a journey that was filled with love, with determination and resilience. I started off this campaign by saying, you will be the real heroes in this story. And I end this campaign saying the same, you are the real heroes in this story.
And that's it, Darius. She again connected with the people to remind them of the campaign message, part of which the offering was the reopening of Petrotrin. How important was that to the Trinidadians?
Well, Petrotrin was a huge, it was an area for a lot of employment for the people of Trinidad and Tobago in the energy sector. The operation of the refinery saw significant development in Marabella, having been, just around Point Apia. And I will tell you, as a person who, my dad lives in Marabella, and I lived there for some time. And that community has changed since the closure of the refinery. What we've seen is a few more bars popping up in the area, but the number of food places, the additional gas station and things like that, the area used to look like a city at one point. And in some ways it still does, but it changed. The face of it changed. And that's because the working men and women who visited that refinery and often came out at odd hours to grab things to eat and have the life and activity in Marabella, that slowed down tremendously. And so this is an opportunity for the trade union movement, apart from the working class citizen, because we have the trade union movement that had been petitioning to own that refinery. They would have put their bid in, and that's the Oil Field Workers Trade Union, and they were rejected by the government because, according to Dr. Rowley, they would have submitted some documents that based on research weren't necessarily accurate. Apparently they could not have proven where they would have gotten the funds to operate it. And just recently the government would have said that there was some interest in that refinery from Owando, which is a company located in Nigeria, and the opposition had raised some concerns about that as well. So we're not really sure what the reopening of the Petrotrin refinery would look like. Would it be that the Nigerian company Owando PLC will come into Trinidad and operate the refinery with local employees? Will they completely disregard that proposal and that arrangement that would have started under the previous government and really look to hand it over to the Oilfield Workers Trade Union? And I have to say, the OWTU partnered with the United National Congress this time around. Candidates were submitted to contest the general elections on behalf of the United National Congress. There was a coalition of interest. Right. The union was involved. The Public Services Association was also involved, another trade union in Trinidad and Tobago. And they bought in, apart from the restart of the refinery, they also bought into the promise that negotiations with the trade union movement will start at a minimum of 10%. Right. And now, of course, a lot of the promises that were made, there is skepticism about the ability for the United National Congress to deliver it. An additional $18 billion in expenditure in order to fund that. So now that the promises have been made, it's to see whether the United National Congress, led by Kamala Persad-Bissessar, can in fact deliver, because they do have the nation's mandate.
And that's why we have you. So keep us up to date where that's concerned as well. So in the next 100 days, as they tend to say, we'll be monitoring and we'll be getting, hopefully with you, Darius, some updates as to the progress made following the outcome of this general elections. I want to thank you so much over the season for staying with us and keeping us informed as to what's been happening and being one on the ground to tell us clearly what has been the outcome as well. So thank you so much, Darius Polo.
Thank you, Pearson.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Darius Polo, senior journalist, reporter with the Guardian Media Limited and the one with the political beat as her everyday activity, sharing with us the outcome of just yesterday, the general elections in Trinidad and Tobago. We're taking a break. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Morning, morning, morning.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
13 now to 7 o'clock, as this is Vaccination Week in the Americas. We're happy to be joined this morning by Dr. Clyde Cave, whose face you know and whose voice you also know. He's a pediatrician and neonatologist with the Queen Elizabeth. Still with the Queen Elizabeth Hospital?
Not anymore.
Right, that's right. That's why I had to check myself very quickly. Good to have you, sir.
Thank you. Good to be back.
You're very welcome. And with him is Deirdre Aline, who is a health sister in the system. Good morning to you, Deirdre.
Pleasant good morning, Pearson.
Thank you for coming through. Vaccination Week, vaccination. We're living now in the days of anti-vaxxers. Let's best understand what vaccines are and what vaccination is about.
Vaccination is one of the things a parent can do to prevent illness, which I think would be a very important thing for a parent to consider. It's not just children. We think about children primarily, but we all know you have to have special vaccines if you're traveling to certain places, which surprisingly people don't resist as much as when they have a choice about their children, or if you have to do a high-risk job. You know, our medical corps is well vaccinated. What it's doing, the technology originally was to give a little bit of the disease. You get it mildly, but then you're immune for a longer period. With technology, it's not the disease itself. It's part of the protein that the body can recognize as the disease and get ready to fight it off should you be infected. So it's preventative. It's homeopathic almost, in that you're using small amounts of a medicine to get a big immune response. So and it's very safe now, why the big resistance in many corners? Still a little bit puzzling to me, actually.
What are the dangers by this resistance of not being vaccinated?
Right now we're under the threat of an invasion by measles. I don't think we understand that this is a very real threat to our country. Measles is one of those diseases where it's very highly contagious, and we have a susceptible population even for people doing all the right things, because children under a year of age cannot be immunized. Well, not routinely. In an emergency, we would try something and then catch up later. But with measles, which is so highly contagious, I don't know if people realize that in a group of 10 unimmunized children, which is a very small nursery group, one child coming in with measles and being there for an hour and leaving, that vaccine will hang around for maybe 2 hours after they've left, and 9 out of those 10 children will catch it because they're so highly contagious. And 20% of those children will probably end up in hospital with a pneumonia, and it has the possibility of other complications as far down as death. So even though we haven't heard about measles for a long time because we haven't seen it, that's because we had a good vaccine coverage. Now that it's emerged in some of our tourism markets, it's a matter of time before we come here. So now is when we prepare to get ready. And that's just one example of the preventative role of vaccines.
And so, Sister Deidre, what is the system doing now to ensure that we ward off ourselves and get ourselves ready and immune from measles or any other opportunistic viruses?
So what's happening in the system is that the health sisters go into the nurseries and the primary school setting to ensure that those children who are admitted to those institutions are covered. So they make arrangements with the principal, or they make arrangements with the person in charge of the day nurseries and stuff like that. We also go about reading what we call our vaccine register, where we come in, we go through the list of children who should have been vaccinated by now for the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. And if that's not the case, we make a phone call to encourage those parents to bring the children in. Sometimes it may be a situation where the child may have attended private or may have migrated to a different country. We need to know those numbers. And if they're attended private pediatrician or private practice doctors, what we do, we encourage them to bring the book so we can update our registers. So there are a lot of things that we do. I mean, we need to do it more often, and we're doing it more often, but the parents need to work along with us.
As a matter of fact, today and tomorrow, you're doing it.
Yes, so we are celebrating Vaccine Weeks in the Americas, and that celebration, it is an initiative led by Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization, and along with its 30 member states. This is the 23rd anniversary, and we have some activities planned. So our activity started from the 25th, and it's going down to the 3rd of May. We would have had a radio presentation with a public health nurse that was at Starcom, and that was on Friday.
There's an invoice coming up for having made those words. Huh? Well, go ahead.
Oh my word. We also had a church service on Saturday.
Yes.
And that invited guests would include the Minister of Health and Wellness, the Permanent Secretary, the Chief Medical Officer of Health, Chief Nursing Officer, as well as the Chief Public Health Nurse and other senior minister officials, as well as persons from PAHO, officials from PAHO and World Health, and the media would have been invited to that event. Today, the 29th, I'm here, yours truly is here, Deidre Allen is here to explain a little bit more what's happening, and we have Dr. Cave as well here on Good Morning Barbados. Tomorrow, as well as today, we have 2 open days. And that's for all polyclinics, where we're going to offer vaccines and other services. And the public are invited to come on a walking basis today, all day today and tomorrow. We know Thursday is a bank holiday. Person, you want to say something else? Sorry.
No, I wanted to find out whether or not the adult me. Because I may have skipped a vaccine and I did not even realize it.
So
because as the child...
Like what Dr. Cave said, he mentioned before, the adults, it's not only the kids, but the adults, we're inviting all persons to come in.
And I wanted to emphasize that because adults think, oh, this is just vaccine, this is just for children.
That's not the case.
It's not for us because we surely had our little bruises or our arms still.
It's true. Again, reiterating what Dr. Cave said, we have adult vaccines for travel purposes. We tend to see a lot of more adults. Once there's a reason for travel, yellow fever is the most popular one. Sometimes if they're required to have like hepatitis B or the pneumococcal vaccines, that's for the adult population, they tend to seek it. There are other situations too that we all can facilitate at the various polyclinics.
All right. Dr. Cave, I've lost my card. My mother probably has it hidden somewhere, heaven knows where. You know how parents are generally. So I do not know. For anyone watching who wants to use this opportunity now to know what it is that they're vaccinated against, is the system allowing us to be able to do so?
There are different degrees of knowing. If you were going into medicine or nursing and having contact where you were at high risk, we would do a blood check to see what your immune levels were. But that's expensive and cumbersome for the average person. There's really no harm in having a booster shot later on. So if it's in a circumstance where it's likely that you had a miss and that it's a disease that is prevalent or about to be prevalent, yeah, just have another shot if it's appropriate. There's a concept of herd immunity where each person does their part. But if we have a high coverage in the population, then even if your immunity is relatively weak, you would be protected. And of course, children are the great transmitters of many of these diseases, which is why the focus is on children.
Mm-hmm. Every child should be vaccinated, regardless of what health condition there are.
You know, we never say yes in medicine. So there are a few immune-based diseases where it might not be possible or possible at the given usual time because they're under childhood cancers. But yes, every child, unless there are really special health circumstances, should be immunized.
And vaccination is painless. You know, I was vaccinated for the COVID-19. I mean, not when we were still alive. And so it was painless. I remember having that experience. I said to the nurse at the time, you know, if you hurt me, it's going to be me and you. But she was so fun. I didn't even realize that she'd finished. And that's the whole point. Folks, don't be afraid. We create sometimes in our own heads certain constructs that cause us to be hesitant about things. And then when you have it done, you realize it was a piece of cake. It is a piece of cake. Today and tomorrow, you have an opportunity to walk into every polyclinic, any polyclinic, to have your vaccinations checked and to be vaccinated.
So I just want to add there are other activities as well for the rest of the week. On Friday is going to be a half-day workshop for doctors and nurses. That's going to be at the Industrial Public Workers. And we have some speakers. We have speaker from Dr. Kimberly Phillips. She's going to be doing case management of measles outbreak. There's also going to be a talk from Juliet Serrano. She's the senior health sister, and she's going to be giving talk the transition from the pentavalent vaccine to the hexavalent vaccine. And we're going to also have a speaker from the pharmaceutical section. She's going to be doing the development of a SAVI system here in Barbados, and that's going to be done by Sharon Goodridge, as well as our Chief Public Health Nurse, Acting Lerone Highland. So those two are going to be talkers. And on Saturday is the big hoorah. We're going to have two major events. I'm going to say that quickly. Two major events. One at Emerald City, 6 Road, St. Philip. The other one at Warren's Massey. It's going to be a health fair. We're going to offer a cross-section of polyclinic services, PSA, VDRL screening, counseling in nutrition, counseling in family planning, breast examination. We're going to have breastfeeding counseling. We're also going to have an asthma booth. Environmental health is going to be there. And of course, immunization, guys. So please come on out so we can keep Barbados safe.
Saturday, Emerald City and
Warren's Massey.
And Warren's Massey.
That's
all right,
right.
Good. That's on Saturday, folks. We got to leave it there. Dr. Clyde Cave, neonatologist and pediatrician. On his own now, only attached to the QH, but he still does consultancies, no doubt. And Sister Deidre Aline in the health system as well. I want to encourage all of you today and tomorrow to get to know more your vaccination status by just go and have it checked. Take your children so that they can be updated and boosted in their vaccination scheme as well. And take the book so that that too can be noted as well, because it's so critical in these times when so many things are popping up. And we want to be immune and be ready to fight our system, to fight them when they occur. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's call it 7 o'clock in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean this Tuesday morning, and I am so thrilled to have two of my friends sitting with me right here across from me because there's a big concert coming up. Big concert which I'd like you to support, and your support goes a long way in supporting one of them. That one is Aaliyah Trotman, and you know she is fantastic at the saxophone. We met her first as a social worker student, and she is already brilliant at what she does there. And her mother Sharon is with us as well. Good morning, both of you. Aaliyah, good morning.
Good morning, Jason. Good morning, Barbados.
You remember her face. She was among those who, you were one of the students of social work, right?
Yes.
And
yes,
you're studying, you're now doing your master's.
Yes, I am.
And you're doing you're really intelligent. We were so impressed with your delivery the time that you were here. It was a no-brainer for me to say, yeah, we have to support her in any way and every way we possibly can. I know you as a saxophonist.
Well, I wear
many hats.
Many hats.
So the hat that you prefer to wear is?
Oh, a child of God.
Oh, I like that, Aaliyah.
I wear many hats not because I think it is obligation or occupation or profession, but I've been put on earth here to do my Father's work, and I do my Father's work. It just has so led me to play the saxophone, to be a musician, arranger, composer. I am a social worker, but I just like to call myself a child of God. I just do the Lord's work. I help persons any way that I can, and it has led me this far in my journey of social work, and I am happy to be here and grateful for the opportunity.
That is beautiful. You should have seen how your mother looked at you with such pride. Sharon, it must mean so much to you. I don't remember the day she was born, I remember you. But you know, and so to hear her say those things, that she just wants to be a child of God and to use the gifts that He would have given to her in meaningful ways to impact other people. Talk to me what that meant to you to hear that.
It blesses my heart, honestly, because as a parent, you want to know that you're doing the best for your child and that you're guiding them down a road that is meaningful. And from a child at the age of 3 years old, Aaliyah has always been very matter of fact, knows what she wants, very decisive. And I always tell people, if she says she wants an apple, don't try to give her anything else because she's not going to take it. Give her the apple. Then we're all in a good place. Yes.
You're still navigating?
Yes, I am still navigating. Actually, Rally Barbados is coming up.
You see
the season is in full swing. Is a lot, yeah.
You see this beautiful young lady, and she's navigating, moving fast around these sharp corners and so forth, putting your mother's heart in her hand, waiting for you to get home safely indeed. But there's a big concert coming up, Sharon. Talk to me a little bit about what's coming up and why you're doing this.
Okay, so I also wear the hat of companion and trustee for the Seasons for Growth program. For those of you who don't know what the Seasons for Growth program is, it's a grief and loss education program. We go into the schools of Barbados where we help children. Loss is not just through death, but we can have loss through incarceration if a child moves away from home or a parent moves out of the house. And we have a lot of children who are out there angry and not able to articulate the emotions, express what they're feeling or what's going on. So in Seasons for Growth, what we do is that we go into the schools and we offer the program, which runs for 11 weeks. And the program helps the children. We're in schools like Lawrence T. Gay, Belmont Primary, and we're trying to expand our wings. And if we can get into every school in Barbados, it will be great. And in order to carry on the program, we need persons like Aaliyah and the other two students who we will be supporting through the concert One Love on Saturday, May 3rd, 5 p.m. at the Barbados Museum. So in order for us to be able to facilitate the program and to get it across the schools, we have psychologists, we have psychiatrists, we have some counselors, we use some teachers, so we need professionals who can deliver the program. The program is free to all students. There's no charge, it's a charity, and the charity is supported by Corporate Barbados. That's how we get the program out there. So we are in need of more companions so that we can get the program across the schools in Barbados. And when we help these 3 students through this concert, we are helping to help those children in the schools, and we're getting persons into the program who we need to deliver the program.
So it's this Saturday
It's this
at
Saturday.
the Barbados Museum.
Correct.
What time does it start?
5 p.m. sharp.
5 o'clock sharp at the museum is when it starts, indeed. And so we're in for a treat, folks. But as you're doing so, as you go in to engage with all of the treats that we have on offer to you, your purchase of a ticket goes a long way to empowering these 3 students to make that difference among our young people that we're talking about. So where are tickets available from?
You can pay at the door. Tickets are available from the students, from many of the Seasons for Growth trustees, and but mainly you can pay at the door, and it's $40 at the door, no more, no less.
Okay,
children
at
are
the door.
$20.
We can pay at the door. We get from the students.
Yes.
And so, who is performing on Saturday? Do you know, Aaliyah?
Well, there's a fantastic lineup on Saturday. I could speak to the ones I remember off the top of my head because they're so awesome. So we have Jahani Belgrave, or as most persons in Barbados will know him as Irvin. You have myself and company. I have this little group, this ensemble that I've put
You're
together.
hiding that from me. So tell me, this ensemble that you put together. Tell me who they are.
The persons I've put together are myself, Aaliyah Trotman on saxophone, Antonio Howell on saxophone. He's a member of the BDF band as well. Then you have Nathan Husbands on saxophone. Nathan's an excellent saxophonist who's come out of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. You know, they produce some excellent musicians. You also have Shay Springer on keyboard. He's also a Seventh-day Adventist musician. You know, we're keeping it in the church, keeping it godly. We have Dan Bascom, who's an ex-policeman, excellent bassist, a wonderful musician. It's Josiah Small on drums, and we just put together a very small ensemble to give you a taste of something exquisite. So you must be there. You must be there.
That's sweet. So who else is there, Sharon?
Other persons in the lineup, we have a young lady by the name of Azara Kalushi who has a wonderful testimony to give. She's had an injury recently, and this is going to be the first time for her back out performing. She is a singer. We also have Frances Scott, who's from the Methodist Church, and she's also going to be singing. We have a young gentleman by the name of Nikel. He's on flute and keyboards as well. So we've got a great lineup of persons coming on Saturday. A number of young people who are all talented in their own genres.
It's Saturday, folks. This coming Saturday at 5 o'clock sharp. It starts at the Barbados Museum. You can pay at the door. You can pay at the door because in paying at the door, your monies go a long way. If you want to get a ticket before the event on Saturday, you can contact any of the students. Aaliyah is right here. You know her face now. You can reach out to Aaliyah. But get to the door, get to the Barbados Museum. It is a whole menu of wonderful, 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 talented young people in Barbados who are just expressing and giving back through this charity. And so I want you to be there this coming Saturday from 5. $40 is all it's going to cost you to be a part of this. And you're in for a treat, a real, real delicious treat.
And children are $20
right,
at
so
the door.
there's a child cost as well.
And plenty giveaways and prizes.
Well said, Sharon. And so I want to encourage all of you to give your full support to this activity on Saturday, this coming Saturday, May the 3rd, 5 o'clock, the Barbados Museum. It's where it's happening. One love. Show your love. Aaliyah, thank you so much. I wish you well in all of your future endeavors. Always good to talk to you indeed. Sharon, my longtime friend.
Yes.
Good to have you as well. I wish you and your charity
us.
well with everything that you're doing.
Thank you very much, Pearson.
You're very welcome.
All right.
We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 10 minutes after 7 o'clock now as we go right into the Faculty of Sports at the University of the West Indies at Cave Hill. And you know, when you study at Cave Hill, you come out well. You come out well because you've explored all of the possibilities, and be soaking in all of the information given to you as well. This week, we're in the Faculty of Sports. They're having their open week, and so they invite you to come, taste, see, experience, ask questions, get to know more about the many programs with which you can engage at the Faculty of Sport. And what are the job opportunities that flow therefrom as well? Joining me this morning is the head of the Academy of Sports at the UWI, good friend, colleague for life, Rudolph Aline. Dr. Rudolph Aline, as a matter of fact, got to give you a full title. Buddy, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you, Pearson?
I am doing well. We sat in class together at Coleridge and Parry. Hint, hint. And so Javier Reed, who I also did not know you did this, Javier, as well, because I remember you from the BCA. And Javier is one of the lecturers in the Academy of Sports. Good morning, Javier.
Good morning to you. This is where sport brings you.
This is where sport brings you, indeed. And this is not the funny sport, this is serious study. And so really give me a sense of the kinds of programs that one can engage in at the Academy of Sports.
Well, at the Academy of Sport, we have two main degrees, a BSc in Sports Science and a BSc in Sports Coaching. We also have a master's degree in Sports Science as well, where we do that in conjunction with the University of New Brunswick. Out of these programs, we've produced many qualified young people across the region, not only Barbados. I can mention a few names. Mr. Hodge, Kavim Hodge, who now plays cricket for the West Indies, would have come through our program. We have an international cyclist in Laurie Sharp out of Jamaica, who now plays a trade in the US as an international on the professional circuit. So we have many young people who've come through the programs at University of the West Indies.
You know, we grew up with knowing that we had a PE teacher, just somebody who liked out there playing around with us, and you had a good time to talk to you how to do this and do that. Yeah. You are now formalizing it in this Faculty of Sports.
Yes.
Indeed. And so the Academy of Sports helps us to do it, and it's more than cricket.
Yes, it's more than cricket. We basically cover all the sports, but what I want to say is that back then we didn't see sports as a science. It really is a science. When you think about all the facets of sport, you can study sports nutrition, you can study psychology, you can study the management and professional side of sport. So it really is a science, and we are now adopting that scientific approach to sport. I mean, if you really think about it, just think about the career of the teams that just went over the weekend and did Barbados proud. It's the sport, the scientific side of the sport that brings out that good, exceptional performances from our athletes across Barbados.
And Javier, you're part of that bringing out of the excellence indeed. Talk to me a little bit about what programs you are a part of, first of all, and how easy it is to get into the program, and what's a day like, basically, in this program.
Oh, wow. I chose sport because it's something I enjoyed. When I left school, I wanted to be an engineer, right? But a year of the chemistry and the physics at the higher level, I realized that was not for me. But thankfully, I always had parental support to explore those things that you're passionate about. So I mainly teach sport management related courses. And just as Dr. Aline mentioned, the science of sport, the exploration, the deliberate exploration of sport is something that we take very seriously and we're passionate about. Everybody knows someone who's excelled in sport, all right? And we all have these ideas of grandeur when we see professional sport on television, but the reality is we're not far away. We have representations of global excellence through sport. And what we do in the Academy of Sport through our degree programs is we bridge that gap. We need to begin to see sport as the industry that it is. Barbados has hosted 3 Cricket World Cup finals. India and Australia. Only other places that have ever done that. Lords at England as well too. That's beyond significant. What occurs in and through sport is really immeasurable. You have what occurs on the field and then everything supporting that. And there are avenues for individuals from all across Barbados. We've had students, I'm pretty sure, that attended every single secondary school in Barbados that have come through our program, and they are flourishing because it's an area that you get into because you enjoy it. So one of the things that students, that we want to tell parents from right now, encourage your children in the various subjects that they do. Foreign language is essential, math, English, and a laboratory science, because that scientific element is one of the things that you will have to really understand and grasp to go far in sport as it relates to the science of sport.
So that's some critical criteria.
Yep.
What does Dr. Rudy is important, because I'm sure parents are watching today and they're thinking, my child shows keen interest in sports. When I hear them talk about it, they seem to understand the discipline of it, but I want to formalize it. So English, math, science, those kinds of things are critical. Is there anything else that they would require for entry into the program?
Not really. So once you have those 5 CSEC subjects, as Javier said, math, English, and science, you can enter the program. What I would say though, once you get into the program, you need to bring that serious attitude about sport. It is not sports. It's not fun.
That's right.
It can be fun, but we want to make sure that you understand the seriousness that we're going to put in place as it relates to the study of sport. At the end of the day, we want to produce the best professionals in Barbados and the Caribbean and around the world. Because again, we have some students who have gone Canada, US, and had jobs in Canada and US, and they're carrying the Caribbean flag in those areas. For those who are very interested in the program, we have an information session on Wednesday at 6 p.m. online. 6. Yes, tomorrow at 6. So those who are interested, you can join that session via Zoom. We can answer your questions. We can give you more information about the programs. We're looking to build out some more programs in the future, some short courses, another BSc course. So we're welcoming you to the Faculty of Sport at Cave Hill campus for all those who are interested in sport. Pearson, you can come along and do a short course as well.
You and I, a short course, nothing too long. Some information is on your screen. I want you to take note, everybody. You know, that information session, virtual information on the question and answer session, targets those prospective undergraduate and postgraduate students. It's tomorrow, beginning at 6 o'clock via Zoom. I do not see the Zoom link. Oh, it's right there. Sorry, folks, bad eyes. But that's the information right there. So write it down. You know what? We could probably post this on our social media as well. Is it on your socials as well?
Yes, it is. But even if you need more information, you can dial us at 417-4732, and you can get some more information about that.
I see you're leaning forward like me.
When you get to that age.
Yes. 417-4732 is the number you can call. And of course, you know, we want to encourage you, mothers and fathers, children, all, young people, older adults as well, who are just interested in the management of sport and the science of sport, to sign up, to get to know more through that open session tomorrow. It's available to all indeed. And so all and sundry, whether you're in Barbados or outside of Barbados, you can actually engage in it because it's online. It's online, and guess what? It's absolutely free. So I encourage all of you to get to know more about what is happening in the Academy of Sports, in the Faculty of Sports at the UWI, and in getting to know more, sign up for any one of their degree and postgraduate studies as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Rudy Ali.
Thank you, Pearson.
He's the head of the Academy of Sports, and a lecturer in that academy is Javier Reed. Javier, good morning again. It's good to see you, my brother.
Good to see you.
All right.
Thank you.
We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
On what? I haven't changed microphones. Alphabet, 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 alphabet. So,
some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
22 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Coming up in June is a landmark event. It's the first of its kind, and so because it's the first of its kind, we're happy to share it with you on Morning Barbados. Joining me right now to talk more about what it is, when it will be, and how you can be a part is Starlet Lewis. She is the Global Spokesperson and Communications Director with, and I'll tell you what that is in just a moment. Along with her is Edward Millington, who is himself an entrepreneur. Starlet, good morning to you.
Good morning to you. How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, and you?
I am lovely. It's a lovely Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, I like to call it.
Well said and well done.
Terrific Tuesday.
I concur on all that you've said so far.
Amazing.
Now, you are the Global Spokesperson and Communications Director for HPESOJ.
Yes.
What on heaven's earth is that?
And this is my favorite question that I love getting asked, because it's actually not an acronym. It's actually pronounced FISOJ. It's FISOJ. So we are FISOJ Group, and it is actually spelled Joseph backwards. So that's a little trick. If you want to remember how to pronounce it, it is Joseph spelled backwards. In a nutshell, FISOJ actually stands for, it's an Arabic word, and it means God has given. FISOJ Group really is a dynamic company with a clear mission to foster trade and investment opportunities in Barbados as well as the wider Caribbean region at large.
You've just put me right back into the Bible.
Yeah.
And the Bible character Joseph.
Tell me.
Don't start me up.
Let's start.
Because Joseph was this young man who had dreams, many dreams.
Yeah.
Part of which, caused him to be treated badly by his brothers who tossed him into, but he found success because he was placed in a situation where there were people who were able to empower him. And I'm deliberately doing this for you because I know where you're going with this.
Correct.
Who were able to empower him to make a big difference.
Exactly.
And so this, I suspect, is part of the reason why you're having this inaugural activity coming up in June.
Correct.
Correct.
Absolutely correct.
So with that said, in June, what's happening?
For the very first time, Barbados is going to be hosting the FISOJ Summit. Before I begin to speak about our FISOJ Summit, with all of this emerging challenges that is happening around the globe, particularly coming out of the US, a lot of us are trying to bypass US trade routes. We are very honored and pleased to actually have bagged the opportunity to host the very first direct Emirates flight from Dubai to the Caribbean, and Barbados is going to be the hub for that. So in light of that, for the very first time, we're having the FISOJ Group Summit, Asia, Middle East, Africa to Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum. We are now going to be on a global platform more than ever with its direct flight. So why not? What we have decided to do and what we have been able to do is make so many global connections with so many global innovators, leaders, and ready to investors that are looking forward to coming here in Barbados and lend assistance to so many already existing businesses who belongs to different niches, because we know there's different types of businesses. There's huge conglomerates, there are businesses that are right there in the middle, and then there are the startups, and then there are the people who would like to begin. So what we're doing here this coming June is this forum or summit has three most important key components. The first one is going to be trade and business assistance, which is one of my favorite parts. It is for all enterprises, individuals who are looking for assistance and resources in business licensing, visa requirements, not just to set up here in Barbados, but to expand, if you'd like to expand throughout the Caribbean region, as well as if you would like to expand on that other side of the world. So we are now going to lend a hand to you if you would like to expand your vision, expand your horizons, give you access to relocation, give you access to the visa requirements, give you access to the business licensing processes. We're going to hold your hand and guide you through that. The second key component is our keynote speaker event. Now this event is from the 10th of June to the 13th of June. So you've got a lot of time. With this keynote speaker event, we've got keynote speakers coming from all over the world. One of them being His Excellency Al Maccabi, another one being Mr. Matthew Knowles, which, as we know, is Beyonce's father, a huge brand that is committed to fostering development and character within a business to allow it to have a global scale. The third most important factor of this event, which I absolutely love, is the Investor Forum, where we have already to invest entrepreneurs and business owners who are coming here to Barbados. You've got a vision, whether you be a small business or a huge conglomerate that would like to expand and would like to know the know-how on how to do that. These investors are coming here to hear your business ideas, your business plans. You've got it set up. You register and they're ready to hold your hand and make that vision become a reality. But you must be ready. We've got so many dynamic minds within the Caribbean pairs, so many dynamic minds, and we are ready to pour into you.
Indeed. And so it's happening on the 10th of June until the 13th. And where is it happening?
It is going to be happening at the Hilton Hotel as well as LASC. So it's going to be between two locations. I would like and I invite all of our viewers to go visit our website at www.fisojsummit.com, and you can have a full view of all of our keynote speakers, all of our upcoming investors, and you can see where you fit in within that business niche. Especially all of our upcoming minds, such as past university students, there is a particular segment that is there for you.
But you need to apply. You need to get involved.
You need to get involved.
And so you answered my question, I think, in a way, when I wanted to wonder from you,
yes.
Who are you targeting? And you're saying small to medium to large. You're anyone who operates a business who is looking for the opportunity, not just to learn from someone else, but to be able to have investment, and also to be able to position themselves beyond our borders.
Exactly. Go above the glass ceiling. And we've got Mr. Millington here, who is one of our esteemed keynote speakers, who's going to be here with us from the 10th to the 13th, who is here to share a few of his valuable insights on what are going to be some of the challenges that businesses have. And
are you looking forward to this, Edward?
Very much so. Very much so. Very much so.
What most are you looking forward to?
The regulatory aspect in terms of business itself, as we want to expand not only here within the region, but beyond, is to understand the regulatory environment, what we need to meet, improving our digital awareness, etc. Also understand the risks to businesses itself, to go forward from there. Additionally, to also meet persons who've already expand also into investment, attain that general knowledge from that perspective in terms of expanding into other regions and so forth.
So, the novice in me, and I'm saying it deliberately because we're all brands in some way, and so we want sometimes to be able, as the individual, to explore the opportunities that would be available for little brands. And you're saying even individuals, not just corporate entities, are also welcome.
That is correct.
To be a part of it.
That is correct. I mean, business transcends regardless of what size they are, including borders. And we want businesses to definitely understand that you can do business, but before you do business, and that's what's really great about Fisoj, is they're going to provide that level of information, helping businesses to understand, here are your requirements, here are some of the risks, what do you need to do, and who are the necessary contacts and so forth. So I think it's going to be a very interesting session. Don't mind it from a cyber perspective, but there's so much to learn, as you can understand, in this digital world.
Sometimes learning is hearing no.
Exactly.
Correct.
I'm sure is that you're not quite ready.
You're not quite ready. And that is the thing. We need to have information that is out there to make our industrious and dynamic business minds within Barbados and the Caribbean ready, because it's a completely different world out there. We can admit we're a bit behind, but it is each one help one. And think about this, pairs. This upcoming generation, they are so different, they're so dynamic, they're so success oriented, and they get things done in such a different and innovative way. So think about you having all of these dynamic ideas and you have this vision, but you don't know the know-how, or you don't have access to the information on how I can boost this vision, how can I make it become a reality. So this is for all of the young entrepreneurs, dynamic minds. This is for all of the established businesses, huge conglomerates. For example, a conglomerate as huge as Blue Waters or any other huge conglomerate that would like to expand beyond the Caribbean region and have their trade go past on that other side of the world. We are here to make it happen for you. No red tapes, just green lights.
I like that. I love roads like that.
Yes, just green lights, global connectivity.
Yeah. And so for those watching who are seeing themselves in this scenario we've just painted for you, and you see it's real, you want to engage with this, how can we register?
All right, so you can register by going onto our website, which is www.fisojsummit.com. Don't forget, Fisoj is spelled Joseph backwards. Once you get onto our website, you are going to see a wonderful list of all of our speakers. You're going to have all of the information that you need. You just click that register button and you can look through to see where you belong, because we've got different tiers, because there's different types of businesses. So you go through and you see what you would like to get out of this event and you register, and we're here for you. Let's expand and make your vision become a reality.
And while we're hearing from Startup, we're showing you what the web page looks like when you log in to Fisoj, Joseph backward. That's exactly what it looks like. And then, of course, you register to be a part of it. Is there a registration fee?
There is not a registration fee. However, according to what category within the event that you would like to attend, because there's so many and there's something there for every single one. No matter what business niche you are, or no matter how large or small your business is. So you go on, you have a look according to the category and what you'd like to get out of the business, then you register for that particular category. If it's just networking that you would like to be a part of, because it is going to be an amazing networking experience. Just imagine being in a networking experience with His Excellency Al-Mahir Kabir. Imagine being in a networking space with Mr. Knowles and so many other beautiful, wonderful, dynamic, industrious and successful names that are so eager to be here in Barbados to assist us in expanding in not just a small way, but a very large way.
It's impactful. No doubt it is inaugural and it is a not to be missed event.
Yes.
So go to the website HBESOJ. Yes, I'm trying to spell Joseph in my head.
Yes.
But that's it right there. It's the group. And so it's available to all of you everywhere. And so whatever stage you are at, using a bad English, nonetheless, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You can be a part of it. If you think that you need to grow even more, this is for you. If you think you need to start growing or to get to understand how to begin that message of growth, then you can, this is also for you. If you think that, oh, I've grown big enough, perhaps the insight will widen your thinking to realize that there's something else you need to, that's out there for you to explore. And so that's why this is going to be so important for all of you. And in all of this, cybersecurity is going to be central to your being able to work from here to trade everywhere else. Cybersecurity is going to be important. And so that's why this is important for you. June the 10th until the 13th in Barbados, there are 2 locations. When you go to the website, you will see all of that there. You can register for all or you can just register for one. It's up to you. You know your needs. And so I want to encourage you to do so today and early, because space is, as always, very limited. Thank you so much, Starlet.
Thank you so much, Piers. And listen, we look forward to seeing you as well.
I like the fact you called me, you abbreviated my name. I just love that.
Oh my God, listen. When I connect with energies, we're comfortable.
Yes.
And let's be aligned and let's go on, progress, future, success. So you know what? We look forward to seeing you there.
All right.
As well.
That's a given. That's a given. And of course, Edward Millington, who we know from cybersecurity issues, we have him on every time that we have a cybersecurity issue. He's there, lending his knowledge.
Dynamic individual.
Indeed
and
so.
we look forward to having him on our keynote speaker panel. I'm so excited to hear, this was just a taste of what he delivered. I'm so excited to hear how much more that he has to outpour, along with our other amazing list of panelists that we've got.
All right, folks, it's now left to you. Make full use of this. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 21 minutes now to 8 o'clock as we turn our attention, continuing perhaps from that discussion we were just having, to GovTech Barbados. Have you heard of it? Have you? Have you paid attention to what it is? Do you know what it is and what services they offer at GovTech Barbados? Well, one man does for sure. That's the Chief Executive Officer of GovTech Barbados. His name is Mark Boyce. He joins me now. Good morning to you, Mr. Boyce.
Morning, person.
Good. Let's start at the beginning then. What is GovTech and what are you designed to do?
GovTech is a relatively new state-owned enterprise in Barbados. We were formed in September of 2023, but I only joined last year. And we are in charge of digital transformation. So what that means really for the average citizen is making sure that the services that they touch, either that citizens or businesses make use of when they interface with the government, are fit for purpose. That they don't have to wait in line unnecessarily, that they can hopefully access some of these services online, that when they access them online, they understand exactly what steps need to be taken, that they get results in a timely manner. All of these things, which I'm sure many Bajans have had problems with in the past, we are there to fix. One of our other big initiatives is to really launch an AI ecosystem in Barbados. Part of what that entails is starting to upskill the population in some of these technologies, which is really what I'm here to talk about today. In partnership with Zindi Inc., which is one of the largest machine learning platforms in Africa, we are hosting a hackathon at UEK Phil Campus on May 10th with the idea of getting novices, perhaps people who don't necessarily have any AI experience, but who have a little bit of programming experience, to come, to learn, to network, and maybe to get a share of $1,000 in prizes that are on offer that day.
So it's open to anyone and everyone.
Absolutely anyone can join. You will make best use of the day if you have a little bit of programming experience, because the machine learning will require some programming experience. But importantly, you don't have to have any AI or machine learning experience. You can be a complete novice when it comes to that. There will be a teaching session in the morning, and then in the afternoon, you'll get into the hardcore trying to solve the problem, which is a real world problem, not a toy one.
Right. So, I mean, all of us consider ourselves at some point in time really efficient and proficient at things relating to technology. And so if that's you and you have an interest in this, then that's what you do. How can those who express an interest show you or sign up to be a part of it? Or we just turn up?
They can go to GovTech's LinkedIn page, and the registration link is right there. So just search for GovTech Barbados on LinkedIn, and then you can sign up directly from that page.
Simple, Simon. So using the technology indeed. And you're looking primarily at AI fraud detection.
Yeah.
And so for those of you who think yourself an online detective, this is for you. If you're not sure if you are an online detective, and sometimes, you know, in our exploration of things, we pick up things. And sometimes we're fooled by things. So this, I suppose, is not just for the person who helps to pick it up, but you learn as you go along as well, just some of the pitfalls that can befall you.
Absolutely. I mean, the problem has wide applicability, right? So machine learning in general has to do with just using data to be able to predict outcomes, right? So in this particular data set, this is a real data set from an actual company in Uganda called Zenti, and it's a data set of financial transactions. So by analyzing this data set, you are learning how to predict the probability that the next transaction you see is a fraudulent one versus a real one. And when you have this skill set, obviously it applies not just to financial fraud, but to really any data set, right? It allows you to learn how to detect these patterns in bundles of data.
And so while it's for those who are engaging, we can also come as we say, spectate. We just want to watch what's happening as well, because we learn so much from this too.
Absolutely.
So for those who are curious as to what the word hackathon is, what is that? What is a hackathon?
A hackathon is really just a group of people who, fueled by pizza and coffee often, come together over some long period of time to solve a problem, often using coding. So they're often coders who are solving some problem or producing some product, but in some finite amount of time. So it's called a hackathon because it is hacking, i.e. coding, and a marathon.
Yes.
So it's an amalgam of those two words. So usually over 8 hours, sometimes more, sometimes they last a couple of days. People come together to solve a problem in finite time.
Indeed. So it happens on the 10th of May. That's not this coming Saturday, the following Saturday at the UWI Kfield campus. And so you go on LinkedIn to Tech Gov Barbados, GovTech Barbados, GovTech Barbados on LinkedIn. And in there is a registration form, and you register, and let's see if you could win that $1,000 or perhaps another opportunity. Wish you well in all of that. Thank you so much, Mark Boyce.
Thank you very much.
Chief Executive Officer of GovTech Barbados, for showing us the possibilities that are real coming out of the office of GovTech Barbados for us, and the possibilities and the opportunities given to you through the hackathon as well. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Community Empowerment's Bridges television series is back. Join us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. on CBC TV 8. Don't you miss it.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 13 minutes to 8 o'clock now as we turn our attention to the upcoming 11 Plus exam, which happens on the 6th of May. Joining me is Margaret Grant, who has been with us all season long, getting you ready, your child ready, you and your child ready for the big exam. So we're down to crunch time, Margaret.
Yes,
what do we need now to be focused in on?
Yes, you can just imagine the atmosphere at home. The child probably feeling pressured, the parents probably feel pressured, teachers probably feeling pressured as well at school, and this is really crunch time. So it is like filling in all the gaps, trying to make sure that all the areas that are not clear, that those areas are clarified, the areas that they're strong in, that those are confirmed and reinforced. And I know that it might be a time when parents might be extra tense because they're wondering now, what will this child really do on that particular day? So whether the child has been performing well or not, parents will have some level of anxiety. But we just want to encourage them to make sure that the atmosphere at home is as calm as possible. So in this way now, we're looking at, okay, you have the child has probably been doing well all along, or they may not have been doing to your expectation, but do not try to push them beyond limit. We want to look at the fact that there's growth. Growth has occurred at every level. And if the child has not been performing well, or even if they have been performing well, let's praise them. Let's encourage them. Let's praise the effort over the talent. Yes? And even if they have not done, there are some things that they may not know, don't give up. don't give up. There's still a few days, and they can do a lot in those few days. Because I would encourage parents, if your child is lacking in any area, if the information is not there, if they haven't grasped certain concepts, those students can really find somebody in their class who is doing really well in that area and get them to explain it. Utilize the media. They can have like virtual study groups where children can link up with each other, and they can actually, you know, discuss work, do mini tests, test each other, and it can be a verbal exercise, right? And that will help reduce the stress levels as well. The other thing too is like the whole thing about mistakes. Just recognize that mistakes are stepping stones to success.
Yes.
Everybody makes mistakes, and when you're under pressure, you tend to even make more. So try not to, you know, do too much in terms of pressuring the child, expecting them to be perfect. Look at the effort, not over perfection. Look at progress over perfection. They are progressing. They have covered a lot of work over the last few months, and they're at the point now where what they have learned, what they have grasped, will be put to the test.
So when do I stop stressing? Do I ask? Because the exam is next week, Tuesday.
Yes.
And so on what day do I say, you know what, I'm done with that. I shall say nothing more on this.
I think right now parents need to now step back.
Okay, good.
Step back from stressing, because are you really want to help the child, or do you want to hinder the child? So the more stressed you are, and the more anxious you are, and the more you demonstrate that, the more you're going to immobilize the child. So let's look at it squarely. Tell yourself, I want to help this child. And you need to model, not you, but the parents need to model the behavior that they want to see in the child. So however you come over to the child is going to mirror it.
Yes.
Yes? So we want them to really model that kind of behavior. Recognize that it is contagious. Their emotions are contagious. Their behavior is contagious. And what the child needs right now is a strong cheerleader.
Indeed.
And that cheerleader should be coming from the home.
Be positive. Just be positive.
Yes.
Relax. In other words, just relax. It'll be okay. That child might very well surprise you at just how much they can retain and recall without your pressure. And so just chill out, as your people will tell you. Or just let the child do what it has to do, and recognize the child's competence as well. And don't try to force what else you can. We all went through cram studying, and we know we couldn't remember anything at the end of it all. So don't do that to the child right now. Let the child relax, mentally prepare, and they will ease their way through it. Breathe. Feed them well, allow them enough rest as well. Margaret, we got to wrap. But thank you so much, as always, for joining us in the series, Getting Ready for 11 Plus.
Yes, please.
All right.
Thank you.
We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scald presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
6 minutes now to 8 o'clock. 6 minutes is a lot of time for us to explore in St. John what's happening in the month of May. And so joining me this morning to talk more about it is the PRO of the organizing committee is, of course, Leah Howell. We know her so well. Leah, good morning again.
Hey, good morning, Pearson, and good morning, Barbados.
Good to have you. You're brought along with you, Dr. Francine Brownman-Jones. At first I thought that's a misspell, but that's her name, Brownman-Jones. Good morning to you, Dr. Brownman-Jones.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Thank you. There's something coming up tomorrow in St. John.
Yes, we're not taking the thunder from St. Joseph because we don't officially hand over until the evening of April 30th. But we have been partnering with the David Thompson Health and Social Services Complex, better known to people in St. John as the St. John Polyclinic, for their open day, which will be happening on the 30th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
That's correct.
Correct. What's happening tomorrow on the opening day?
Tomorrow on the open day, we are having a celebration as part of the Vaccination Week of the Americas.
Great.
But we also want to take the opportunity not just to offer persons immunizations for all and to bring that up to speed. In a previous segment, Dr. Cave would have spoken on the importance of that. And in St. John, we notice our coverage is a little bit down, so we have some vulnerable population. But we also want persons to understand all of the services that we offer and the things that you can have right in St. John without having to hop on a bus. And we also want to foster that sense of community. Leah will tell you some more about that. And before I let her tell you, we also service persons in St. Joseph. So we are bordering, we're straddling.
Well done, well done. So that's tomorrow.
That is
tomorrow. Open day to everybody.
Open
what
day
else is
all
happening,
day.
Leah?
So what else is happening? Well, as you know,
You're the first. Let me hear
yes, May the 1st is almost here. We're taking over from St. Joseph in a few days, just a few days. We're all excited.
Yes.
So as you know, on May the 1st, there is Bet Who Bet You with the Barbados Workers Union, which will be happening at Pool Woods. Is being transformed completely into a national park-like venue, and we're going to have lots and lots of different activities for people to enjoy. If you like dominoes, come out. If you like, there's a kids zone. We have traditional games. The dominoes is being sponsored by Gaia Inc., our airport here. There's a celebrity mixology competition and a full lineup of entertainment. Now, for those of you who might not know St. John very well, who are coming in and want to enjoy this day with us, there's a few ways that you can get there. I know Danielle would have spoken about if you're driving. Most people know Four Rose gas station. Go straight from Four Rose gas station into St. John, and there's a huge venue full of trees, mahogany trees that you will see. But for those of you who cannot come, well, might not be driving, but still want to come out, there's about 3 different buses that you can take straight to St. John to Pool Woods. That is Sergeant Street bus to start. That goes from the Fairchild Street bus terminal all into St. John. It passes right there. Just let the bus driver know, he'll drop you off. Every hour you can take that bus from the time that bus service starts on that day, which I believe is about 6 a.m. But
we have some information on the screen for those who take note from the Princess Alice to Bath, Granville Williams. It takes you to Sergeant Street, the Sergeant Street bus, and at 6 Roads you go to Pools Woods. So all of those, and note the times as well that you can take the bus into Pool Woods for the big kick-off in St. John on the 1st of May in celebration of the Barbados Workers Union's activities. It's Labor Day on that day. So take the bus if you can't drive, and you come right in. The buses will take you back. Don't worry about it, indeed. But you also have coming up on Saturday.
On Saturday, that is Standpipe Stories. Now, Standpipe Stories is a initiative with UE to tell stories about Bajan history. That will be happening as part of our Story Quest Day. That's about reading, learning, and exploring. That will be happening at St. John's Parish Church all day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. So you can have a really interactive day of family festivals and bringing stories to life through
immersive activities. So we will have storytelling sessions with the Kiwanis Club, Cicely Spencer Cross, someone from one of our sisters from St. John, the National Task Force on Literacy. We also ask persons to bring a book with them as part of our book drive with the National Task Force on Literacy. If you love balloon arts, we have cultural cardio and health checks with those from the David Thompson Health and Social Services Complex. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more on
very
what
briefly.
they can expect on it.
Okay, we're going to be there, do spot checks on your health so you can know your numbers and also give vaccinations. Yeah.
Right, so that's important indeed. I am out of time, Leah, but I'm going to invite you back.
No problem.
You know who to speak to.
Yes.
Pardon me?
Yes.
That's a yes. It's a given. right there. But tomorrow, as part of vaccination week at the David Thompson
Health and Social Services or the St. John Polyclinic.
There you go. Vaccinations are available to you. You get to know more about your status, your health status, and a whole lot more. The doors are wide open and they're welcoming you in it, so you understand all of the services that are offered at that facility as well. Then on the 1st of...
Plants, exercise, lots more than vaccinations.
More than that.
Wellness.
Tomorrow is an open day. It's an open day. Fully wellness indeed. And then on the 1st of May at Pool Woods, that's where they're going to be having the BWU May Day celebration and then so much more. But we'll remind you before the week is done on that so much more. Leah, I want to thank you so much as always for coming through.
Yes, thank
and
you
Dr.
so much.
Brownman Jones.
You got it.
Thank you so much as well. Wish you well and all of this going on.
Just to finish off, if you want any more information on our activities, go to We Gathering St. John on Facebook or Instagram.
There you go. We Gathering St. John, indeed. Well done. All right, folks, that's it for today. I thank you so much for waking up to keep us company on Morning Barbados. You have, it has always been terrific. I encourage you to share the show, tell someone else about us, and let them come have fun and information with us as well. My little crew joins me in saying thank you. We wish you a lovely today. Bye-bye.
Wake up.